January 8th. I'm not saying that again. Karen, you want to do the roll call?
Mr. Bale, Mr. Copeland,
Here.
Mr. Drexel,
Here.
Mrs. Showerman here, Mr. Scatella,
Here.
Mr. Wertz,
Here.
Mr. Winarski.
Here. I just want to ask first, does anybody have any public comments that they want to make? See Freda has her hand raised.
Yeah, my name is Freda Tepfer, and I just have a request. If I speak at a council meeting and I do not mention any council members by name, I believe it's common decency not to mention me by name in their opinion of anything that I do or say. I think the mentioning of my name and when I chose to leave the council meeting on Monday by the newly reappointed chair was inappropriate, and it just puts me in a very odd position. And in fact, my leaving had nothing to do with the fact that he was reappointed. So I just wish that people would be more careful how they mention people's names in council meetings. I feel
Thank
like
you,
I'm owed an apology for that, by the way, Terry.
Oh, I saw your email.
All right. We'll have a conversation. Thank you, Freda, for your comments. All right. Does anybody else have public comment? Anyone else have public comment? All right, hearing none, move forward. First ordinance number 2025, approving Harbor Creek Township ordinance 2010-201-8, an amendment of real estate tax relief and effective date extension. Anyone have comment on that at all? Right.
Well,
Ordinance,
that was sent through you, right? That was sent through you. That's just an extension of their
Yeah.
order.
mhm. Number two, ordinance number 2026 general fund budget supplemental appropriation of $50,000 in creation of line items for the central booking fee. Anyone here to speak on that? All right,
Yeah, this one, we inadvertently left those two lines out of the 26 budget. This is just some cleanup of that. You guys had passed an ordinance back in 25 creating those lines for that booking fee. But when we prepared the budget, since they hadn't been used yet, they left them out. This is just putting them in the budget.
yep, okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Ordinance number 3, 2026 general fund budget supplemental appropriation is $608,920. Creation of line items for the state food purchase plan contract with Second Harvest. Yeah.
That one's me too.
Yep.
Second Harvest approached us after the budget was created. They were informed by the state that the state food purchase program, which they currently have a grant with, could not be directed or paid directly to them. It needed to be a pass-through through the county. So that we have applied on their behalf and it's a straight pass-through. We have no administrative oversight, nothing to do other than to collect the check and send them a check. So this is to create a new bureau for that,
Okay,
to track it.
anyone?
If it's straight pass through, would it be moved to a second or prefer not, or? Do you have the check already, or?
I don't have it. It's they said the first check should be coming sometime in January,
Oh, okay.
so it's okay to leave it go.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, do we have a copy of the contract?
I believe I included it with the ordinance.
yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
in there. It's in the
It's in the
packet.
Anyone else?
We might not have printed the whole contract, but we got it.
Mr. Chair, just, we've confirmed that we don't have any reporting requirements that we're gonna have to exercise any kind of oversight of the spending or reporting. It's just,
Nothing. It's like, Second Harvest will do all the reporting, keep all the books. Kind of like the EMTA, MATP pass-through that we do, they keep it all, we're just the intermediary.
Tom, I'll make sure you have a copy of that by the end of the meeting. If you don't already have one in the full packet, all right?
Of the what?
The contract?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Oh, you do have it? Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right, ordinance number 4, 2026, general fund budget revised expenditures and creation of temporary staff line item in the finance bureau.
Good.
Hogging all this stuff today, Patrick.
I know, I got too much on there. 4 and 5 are the same. Oh, no, never mind. 4 is adding a temporary staff line item into the finance bureau. As the new administration is bringing on, interim director of finance. Through the per diem policy, so we needed a temp staff line to pay that. It's really just a straight savings from the wages being put to a temp staff line.
Anyone have any questions about that?
Mr. Chair, has council reviewed the amount that's being paid?
Oh, it's in the packet, right?
$12,898, exhibit A, so you're just transferring non-bargaining. $12,898 from non-bargaining to the temporary staff line item.
And we're paying what was budgeted for the position in 26, so we're paying the per diem $53.74 an hour.
How long is the temporary staff contemplated?
8 weeks, so I put in for 240 hours. I put a little, on the very bottom of the exhibit, I put a little math. For that on there.
Number 5 is 2026 general fund budget revised expenditures and creation of temporary staff. Line item in the Information Technology Bureau, it's very similar, and that pay structure is the next page as well. You know, it's a stack here. And that was
10,000.
10,000, right?
Yeah, $10,579 transferred from the non-bargaining line item.
Mm-hmm. So same difference. Anybody have questions about that? All right. Number 6, resolution number 2026, approval of amendments to a pilot agreement between Pennsylvania State University, the Harbor Creek School District, the Township of Harbor Creek, and the County of Erie. Anybody have anything? No?
I reviewed that, Mr. Chairman, we recommend it to council.
Mr. Chair, it is just an extension. There's not
Yeah.
significant change in terms or percentage payment or anything like that.
Right,
Just an extension.
right, that's correct, it's just an extension.
And for how long? Just the year or
5
years.
5 years?
Check.
How is it 10 years?
That's a long one. You should have 5.
10 years.
Satisfied with that? Do you have anything else? Okay.
That's fine.
Resolution 2026 is number 7, resolution 2026, approval of extension agreement for 2-year lease renewal with AverHealth and County of Erie for space located at Erie County Community Corrections Center. New one.
Yeah, this is the one where AverHealth leases space from us at the old community or at the old CCC or the Community Resilience Center. They are paying us the rent, and that lease had expired, so we're just offering a 2-year extension to them.
Okay.
And they conduct the urinalysis testing there for office children use, drug and alcohol, probation, and some other clients. So it's nice to get some rent on some unutilized space coming our way.
Did it, the rent go up?
No, we held the same price.
How was it?
Sum of $19,372.50 or $1,614.38 a month.
Mr. Chair. AdverHealth was awarded that contract to do that testing through an RFP process, correct?
Yes,
Like an open bid. How long is their contract with the county?
they are renewed yearly. So like, Children and Youth has their contract with them. Drug and Alcohol has a contract with them. Probation as well, and they're yearly ones.
Kind of what I figured, and I guess the only concern that I have is awarding a 2-year lease to the contractor that does work for us on an annual basis. Are we then next year just to re-award it to them on a no bid?
Yeah, we
Waiver?
don't, those contracts aren't bid every year over year. They're not RFP'd every year for human services.
They're not RFP'd every year, so we get a waiver of bid requirements every year sent to council, or
No,
that's where I was going.
I had a feeling, Rock.
I mean,
Yeah,
that,
that's,
I'm aware that there's been a lot of them out there. We had the one for public health that they brought it to us for the Regional Science Consortium, and there are partnerships,
correct.
but if we're gonna be re-awarding contracts out of RFP,
Right.
well, we ought to be doing it. But I mean, I just want to make sure that the administration, which is coming in and onboarding, that they're comfortable locking in a 2-year lease for someone that may or may not be who they want to go with in the future.
Right.
That's my concern.
The thing is, Tom, you may remember that, I mean, we've had discussions over the years about the DHS contracts and the RFP process. And John DiMattio's come down and spoke on that numerous times. We actually tried to amend the purchasing code at one time, but we didn't. It's been a long-standing thing, and at some point, I'd like to talk to you guys, DiMattio, about it, to go over some of that.
Yeah, there are so many contracts. That DiMattio has
300,
300, yeah, so that, it's pretty difficult to. Put those out to bid, and things like that.
And I'm understanding of that. Maybe there's an opportunity to do like a blanket waiver to say, these are the 20 contracts that the DHS is. It's just procedural,
I know.
right? Like,
yeah,
and I don't think anybody really has much of a reason to object to some of those waivers of long-standing relationships and contracts that,
right.
but I. Also, as a company from Virginia, I wouldn't mind seeing, there has to be somebody local that might be able to offer these.
There was
If we
for a
don't
long
put it out
time.
for RFP on a routine basis,
Yeah,
we never get the opportunity to see.
correct. We
So-
had one vendor doing it for a long time, the local vendor. They chose to discontinue with us.
Hmm.
And over the years, we bid it one other time. And a vendor came in and did it for 2 months and was like, no, we're done. It's a very difficult thing that they're doing with a very difficult clientele that doesn't want to be there.
Sure.
So we have a tough time. Getting a vendor to do it.
Mr. Chair, if I could. one more. This expired in June.
This lease,
Yeah,
yes,
they've been operating on a month to month.
yes, yeah.
Good, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else?
That's the only one I want to talk about.
I figured.
Okay.
All right, and you had to get at least one in, right? 8, resolution 2026, appointment of, I'm gonna probably tragically ruin this, but Mayor Dussel to perform an audit of the county of Erie for calendar year ending December 31st, 2025. The next, we got 5 of them all kind of tied together, or not sure if we can put those together, or do these require us to just vote on them all separately because they're,
They should be voted on separately.
yeah,
They
okay,
are separate letters and contracts for each one.
all right. Absolutely. Anybody have any questions or input on this at all?
I've reviewed these letter agreements year in and year out. It's the same language. At least for the last 5, 7, or 8 years. I've changed some of the language and they've agreed to it. And they've repeated the same language in their letters
Mm-hmm.
and they continue to do that.
Okay,
I have no problem.
okay,
And for what it's worth, the audit committee reviewed it last year, unanimously agreed. Low price. Has great resume, has done it for us before.
excellent. Then I'm just, is it okay if I just skip the next 5 or do you want me to read them all out loud? Okay, I'm choosing to skip the next one. Number 13, analysis of general fund unassigned fund balance.
If all the ordinances in front of you were passed today, we will be within our unassigned 2-month expenditures. Over by 22,906,441.
Motions.
So moved. Valves up.
All the personnel meeting.
Oh, you got
to-
your own.
Yes, I do. But it's, it's like you can't really, you can't whack it because it would go flying. All right, let's dig in here. Number 1, ordinance number 77, 2026. Appointing official salary ordinance, Director of Human Services, or Human Resources, sorry. First read at our last meeting of 12/9/25. Think anybody would have any question on that one? And just point of clarification, the first 7 on here were the first read for the outgoing administration. Or potentially same people, but. Yeah. Number 2, ordinance number 78, appointing official salary ordinance Director of Finance, first read at 12/9/25. Comments? Number 3, ordinance number 79, 2026, appointed official salary ordinance Director of Administration, first read 12/9/25.
Mr. Chair, excuse me.
Hmm,
So say the new director of finance coming in at the same as the outgoing, is that same salary or we're,
I mean, my looking at the ordinances for the new directors for items later in here were the same pay as what was outgoing. Basically, what was budgeted was a 3% increase. And that was reflected in the ordinance to approve the
okay,
first 2 days of the year. And then for those people that are new personnel. Right, so we have a new Director of Administration. That ordinance for that pay is later in this book. At the same.
the same? I thought prior years or whatever, we reevaluated or double checked our salaries. Whoever the new person was coming in, and that didn't even if it was the same administration, we didn't set a salary to what the existing one was after somebody was here 2 or 3 or 4 years. We reevaluated it. I mean, I think, for example, Joe Senate came in and, I think that was tabled for 8, 9, 10 months because. And at the end of the day, he got paid, but there was always that, well, wait, he shouldn't be getting that. He should be between here and here. He's first year on the job or what have you. I don't know.
Well, no, that's true. When you have a new hiree, you start at the minimum. And if there's reasons to pay the new hiree something more. The council has that flexibility. Actually, for these 4 positions, they're even outside the pay plan. And the county council has the authority to pay any one of these officers, whatever they would like to pay them. But certainly,
Are we addressing the line item that we're talking about right now, which would be the former director of administration for the
Well-
first 2 calendar days? Or are we talking about another one of the ordinances later in the agenda? I just want to clarify.
I guess, and maybe they stand to be corrected, the way I'm looking at it is, are we hiring, is a new person coming in, and nothing against anybody who's coming in, are they coming in at the old prior salary of whoever was in that position?
yeah, and that comes after these four. It's further in the agenda.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And it is a little bit confusing. It's, I mean, these first four ordinances are, ostensibly you're passing, a salary for someone that's gonna be here for a couple of days. So it's kind of odd to even do that in the first place. I think that, each one of these things should simply say, they should identify the office as the outgoing administrator and the outgoing human resources person. And pay them from January 1 until their last day of employment with the county.
Well, in the case of one of those, they're still the same. Not everyone is their ability. Right.
Well, the first four, though, are only going to be here for a few days.
And it's
I
still
think,
there.
well, human resources till the end of the month. But the idea is that these should be identified as outgoing positions where their wages are going to be limited to January 1st to their last day of work at Erie County. And the ordinance should be amended to reflect that they're only working for those so many days and being paid for only those certain days. In order to distinguish them from what Jim is referring to is the new hirees.
For those specific ordinances, are you suggesting that we revise and amend prior to publishing for Tuesday? And have the second read as a revised, or that we need to make a motion to amend it?
Well, we could, like, say this, take each one of these ordinances. The be it further enacted clause. You could amend that to simply say, be it further enacted. That the outgoing administrator shall be paid wages from January 1 and 2026 until his last day of employment with the county. And for each one of them, say that.
And perhaps also note that it's retroactive too.
Well, from January 1.
Yeah.
You would be saying that they would be paid from January 1.
Right.
2026 through their last day of employment with the county for each one of those four. And if Dan works till the 31st, that's fine. That's their last day of employment.
Is my place, yeah. Anything else you want to? Did that
No, I just
resolve-
want it to be, yes, need to know that, just trying to compare what we've done and what we're gonna do, and if our solicitor agrees that maybe there should be a little stipulation in there that until their employment is reached, and then these could change, is what you're saying.
Right, and then that frees council up to hire. Or to approve the hiring of any new administrator, new human resources, et cetera. Which you're doing later on in this budget.
Well, I mean, the ordinance. Explicitly states that if it would be a new appointee, a new person, that the new appointee doesn't automatically get hired in on the old rate. So like we would have to.
But that's automatic anyway. That language is superfluous because of course. Council has to approve the hiring. But it's just simpler and cleaner to distinguish these outgoing people. From the new people.
Could you prepare that language for us?
Sure.
And would we, again, would we have the clerk amend the ordinance for advertisement on Tuesday?
No, I
Or-
think that.
Or amend immediately?
on Tuesday, he would amend it. The language, it's just a simple sentence.
Good with that. Okay. Number 4, ordinance number 80, 2025, 2026 appointed official salary ordinance public defender. First read 12/9/25. So no issue there. This one's odd. Actually, ordinance number 81, 2025, 2026 appointed official salary ordinance county solicitor. And Mr. Spiros was not direct employee's contract. So.
Wasn't it appointed officials? And he's head of.
Yeah, and even though he's contracted, we use the rate that, or the what you pass to pay him. Through contracted employment. That's how we set up their 12 annual payments. Based on the rate that you pass for that. Even though he's not an employee, we, 1099 person.
Okay.
Because he's an appointed official. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy that we said their salary, because it's not really salary.
Right.
Yeah, it's more of a contract amount.
Yeah.
It's. I hate to use that word, it was just always been that way, but. Maybe we could switch that in the future to say, approving the contract instead of the salary,
Should we not be approving the
Legal service.
contracted hourly or whatever the segment of the contract is, as opposed to the total amount?
Well,
His contract is just like mine.
yes,
It's an independent contractor. The amount is different. But, there are no wages or earnings or taxes taken out of his contract. He's paid by 1099.
But do they bill us based on hours worked for the county?
No,
Just
he
flat
gets
rate?
paid flat
Flat,
rate.
okay, that's,
And then he hires a McDonald builder to do the rest.
gosh.
Okay, that's the distinction. The hour is. Okay.
But
Who
the
bills?
bills don't reflect the fact.
Because there is a definitely hourly billing. Very aware.
yeah, that's the base, but it cut maybe like a retainer rate, Tom.
Well,
Or
I mean,
however you call it.
it's been done differently. With Bill's contract, that was the first time I have seen a separate contract between the executive and McDonald Hilly. So there were 2 contracts. And council was approving not only his retainer as solicitor, but whatever contract, whatever billing McDonald Hilly. Whatever he used McDonald Hilly for.
Yes.
Whatever. I don't know what this administration is going to do. I don't know. I don't even know what firm or what lawyer they've hired. But I know that, these fees for the solicitors have gone up over the last several years, and I don't know whether council is prepared to hire the new solicitors at the same outgoing rate as the Spiros and others, or whether they want to consider some different rate based on the attorney's experience and those types of things, so. It's something that council will have to consider.
But don't they bring those down? I mean, when they go to hire somebody, they're bringing that salary down to us. That's when we're approving that. We're not approving that always ahead of time.
Well,
If I could.
right now, right now, before council is appointed official salary ordinance for the solicitor, so.
If we can, look, can we address the new incoming when we get to those items?
Yeah.
On the agenda, okay. Ordinance number 82, 2026 appointed official salary ordinance, first assistant county solicitor. Same deal. Ordinance number 83, 2026 appointed official salary ordinance, 2 assistant county solicitors. And that is the end of the old. We already had a first read. Any questions on any of those? All right, number 8, new ones, 2026 appointed official salary ordinance, director of administration.
Well, these ones, you guys, I tried to make it, to try to help you guys in Jim, like this one. The pay grid, I tried to note on the bottom, these salaries are effective 1/6/2026. Cause these are the new people. You know, you were talking about changing the language in the front, so for the new grid, we just have the two, so these are effective 1/6/26.
Am I correct in saying that all of the incoming appointed officials are coming in at budget? Is that correct? Well,
Yeah.
well,
Steve,
the
yeah,
fuel
Yeah,
plus the
whatever,
budget.
whatever was in the budget, we didn't want to change.
Versus starting at a more of an entry level. Not, maybe not entry level, but they're starting.
I don't-
Where the others were
Left off,
left off. I mean,
more.
there's always been big arguments about that.
I mean, from my limited recollection from prior, it was a lot of times people trying to be brought in at a higher rate, right? For the most part, I mean, I seem to remember that being an issue with the Dalton Member Administration. That there was a dust up over.
I think our clerk Julie, wasn't there a little.
What about?
We've always
I'm
started
for
people in-
like saying,
in
I'm in
jobs
the
that-
higher.
Lower.
The salary was set at 78 or 80.
That's what I'm saying, I think generally,
Yeah, when
is
they
the
go in the
issue
front.
generally when
If
it's
they're
been
com-
higher.
That's what I'm saying, if we're changing to move it up, like that's, like, they're bringing this to us because this is now when we're approving it, if somebody comes in and you wanna hire somebody for 20 grand more than what's in the space. You gotta come to us and get the approval for that salary, or you have to pay a salary within the range that's in there. If they wanna advertise that salary at 80 to 103, right, that's their right, and they can bring in somebody based upon experience, this is the history of how we've been doing this, but. If it goes above what is already in the budget, that's when they're coming to us and. You know, what I mean, like, I don't know, in this instance, I don't know if we would have had much of a chance to reset everybody. Prior to this, to today, I guess. I don't know.
Mr. Chair, these are in the budget though. These are already, it's pretty clean.
Yeah,
The amounts are already in there.
That's
so.
fine.
yeah, the rates that are proposed in this packet are at budgeted in the 2026 budget.
Tom, would you agree that the historical precedent where there has been an issue is largely when somebody's being brought in at a higher rate than what had been budgeted or proposed or? In the prior year? Historically.
Well, I mean. The last several years for inflationary purposes and everything else, everybody's wages have gone up. And a lot of these numbers in the existing pay plan are outdated. And so we've seen significant raises over the last several years. And so maybe council is predisposed toward giving higher wages or wages consistent with what the outgoing wages were. But if you're gonna follow the pay plan,
Are appointed officials not exempt from the pay plan?
they are exempt from the pay plan.
Okay.
Although reference has always been made to the pay plan as far as trying to calculate or bring their wages in line with the pay plan itself. But you're right, they're treated separately. Still though, if you treat them as new employees, then you would start at the minimum. And you wouldn't start at take Doug Smith, for example. His wages he was here for 20 years. And so his wages were high. So then the question became, when someone took his place, well, would they get the same wages as him with his experience? And
It was more.
his seniority, and so then you come in to conflict with an issue there, well, no, they don't have the experience, so they should be hired lower on the ladder and then work their way up. The same issue is at play with a lot of the people that the new administration is going to hire. Do they get to hire them at wages equal to or equivalent to the wages that were earned by the previous employees or administrators? Or do they have to start at a lower rate and work their way up? And that is something that council has the complete authority to make the determination.
Do you, Mr. Chair, can you quickly come up with what the outgoing salary of Doug Smith was?
Well, yeah, give me a second to pull it, it would be, it was.
Well, we have them right here. So
Was it that much?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't, this is less than the outgoing, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's within, like, anybody can hire within the range up to what the current past budget amount is, right? They can make a range, if you had a position that you were hiring somebody with less experience, I'm sure you're bringing them in as a different range, right? But in this appointed official thing, the only time that we've had any sort of pushback has been when somebody comes in, like, we wanted to lower the amount because of the Doug Smith thing, right? I think when we advertised that, I can't remember what the amount was, but it wasn't 107 that we had advertised that. But when it came in, they asked for more, we had to approve that because it was more than the range that we gave them.
Correct, and we still hired lower
Then the range,
than the high range, yes.
then the high
We
range.
did in some, I think council went someplace in the middle.
Did we?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was still to the higher side, just not, I mean,
was it like all the way there?
Not what the.
and I still wanna,
You-
and it's not about any person, it's the position.
Yeah,
And,
yes.
I'm even trying to think back when we were hiring the new clerk. And that might have been in the middle of a term or in the middle of a year. How that all officially, how we determined Ms. Slomsky back then. I know there was a lot of back and forth then because, there was a lot of pushback, bringing her in a lot lower than what we ended up doing, I think, or what ended up being passed, but was still a discussion of. It wasn't just, boom, this is what it is, and this is what you're getting, just because Doug Smith, who was there for 20 years prior, she wasn't gonna come in at that salary.
That's right. She's not one of the 4 administrators, though. So it would, like these other jobs that are coming up, where the quote is being waived to hire the employee, the executive assistant and the IT person. That would be different because you're referring to the pay plan itself and the categories in that.
I would agree with that, would be different for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
That is based upon experience, right? And it doesn't necessarily, I mean, I guess, I don't know. If you're paying 43 grand for a job and you hire somebody at 60 grand experience, like, we'd be having this conversation, but I don't know.
Can I suggest that we simplify the conversation to simply be, if you feel that there should be a change, right? If you
That's fair.
stated the intention of the change, to me, I'm happy to be in budget.
To answer Chris's question, though, I looked at the director of admin, I looked at the director of finance just for the past several years, 24, 23, 22. Director of administration in 2022 was approved at 95,665. 2023 was approved at 98,535. 2024 was approved at 100,737. Director of finance kind of follows the same trajectory. They've been approved.
So all of those came in higher than.
Well, it went up.
They just been, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, so, I mean, we're not talking about lower, we're talking about those came in higher, but we're within budget here.
What was finance again, just
Finances, for what year? 2020.
through,
So it was relatively the same. Director of finance in 2024 was at $98,763. 2023 was at $95,886. 2022 was at $93,093. It was crossed out. It was originally at $95,882. So it looks like an adjustment is made in 2022. It's crossed out and
we might have
Taken
knocked
lower.
that down back.
yeah, it was crossed out and taken lower. was originally at the $95,882.
Okay.
In 20.
Yeah,
Just point of clarification, we don't have. Finance. For. approval.
What's that?
They've not submitted finance yet.
Yeah, finance is in.
Bring in there,
I think,
just to clarify.
if I may, we're at a position where. Certain hires have already been made based on the budgeted amount and agreed upon amount. Where there's opportunity to reevaluate, to the pay plan is in the two temporary positions that are being approved. And if the other positions that are being approved based on the budget or that are being recommended based on the budget end up opening back up through the budget period, it's an opportunity to review them within the context of the pay plan. But I think this is a conversation that maybe should have taken place. It's a weird balance because you would have been dealing with an administration not in place, but they were making decisions based on the budgeted amount, not based on the pay plan range.
This is awesome.
Yeah, but
Been a problem where we have people that are already working. You know, and seeking approval after. And I mean, it comes up all the time for the public defender's office where. We've got them graduating out of the program, you know, with their license and coming on board. Been given an offer and already doing the work, and I've been conflicted with that as well, but that's kind of why I. Feel like if it's coming in at budget, I'm feeling. It's just requesting more, and like, hey, hold up, you know.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. These are based on the budget. And so there's no conflict with the positions that have already been made, but for the two that are temporary that will be made full eventually, that's an opportunity to reevaluate those.
well, still though, the fact that these items have been. Budgeted does not mean that council cannot, I mean, nobody's been hired. So council is not limited. In paying these people. By the budget that's already been passed. I mean, council could rationalize paying all of these people. The higher amounts equal to the outgoing people. Based on the fact that it's been budgeted. You know, but still, that doesn't mean that council is limited to that. They still have the authority to hire these people at whatever wages they want. Regardless of the budget.
Budget's a ceiling.
So again, unless somebody has an intention to want to change it.
Well, I don't think there was there may not have been enough homework on our end to say it should be changed. Yes, it's budgeted, but the incoming, and I'll just say last year or 3 years ago, or how did that shake out, or how did that compare to what we're doing today? In the terms of, did the new administration 4 years, did these 4 positions come in with those 4 people left in 2022? I don't know that. Not enough research, I guess, was done maybe on our end, or, you know what I'm not saying nobody isn't worthy of it, understand that. Just wanna make sure we're doing it, not just to do it, cause it's budgeted, we're doing it fairly.
I think the ultimate bottom line is the budget gives you the ceiling, right? That, you know, the council, you know, the administration has the authority to hire this person up to this point, you know. That's what the budget is, it's the ceiling, right? And if someone would come and say, we wanna hire a director at $140,000, well, that's not what was budgeted. I mean,
Right, and you do have that, I mean, you could pay 190,000, but then that ordinance would have a companion ordinance. To do the increased wages and
And I think that.
an appropriation from,
yeah.
yeah, that would be the companion.
That's, I think that's usually what's happening.
Sure, you'll see the change from the budget. But Tom hit the nail on the head, you can do whatever you want. You know, if you were to lower it, then
Under budget.
then you would, right,
Yeah, it's
Do
under
an ordinance
budget.
for that as well.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being under budget.
Yeah, so
If you
the
want.
budget's the guideline there, so.
Right.
Would, is everybody okay if we move to the next, I'm a little bit,
I mean,
just trying to keep us on task, I'm not trying to quiet it.
it's something. I
We could have
guess
the
I'll
same
check.
conversation for each of the positions.
Can you look at those, Ian?
Pardon?
Can you look back at those?
Uh,
The
we
last,
just-
the
one
last
we just
time
got-
that changes were made in these positions, did they start at the outgoing?
I think, just, well,
It
except
shouldn't
for.
be hard for you to do
There's a
that.
different
Yeah,
version
no,
of it.
It's the first
I
reading.
Spectacle. But yes, well, how far back do you wanna go?
What's the difference? They go from when,
I would recommend going back to before, I would go back to 2019 as wages and the inflationary pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic would have been an outlier, so I would go back to 2019. That would be my recommendation,
All right, and we're gonna factor that in when we look at
yeah.
sounds too, because. We can work with you.
Can't go back in time and change COVID did to us.
Yeah, because you're gonna have outliers,
Costs, I know it.
it'd just be an outlier.
So there's not objection to moving on, number 9. Appointed official salary orders for the public defender, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Questions or concerns? Number 10, 2026 general fund budget waiver, human resources code approval of starting rate above 6% maximum increase for position. Under the executive assistant, in the county executive bureau. Anything to add there, guys?
There's no talk on that.
Do you have anything to add for that? This is the waiver, the personnel code.
Dang it, we have to come down for an ordinance because it's a waiver of the pay plan rules. To hire someone at the budget itself, what's in the budget for 2026. It's just not an appointed official, position, so that's why it's worded different, but it is in a, we do need a waiver of the pay plan in the HR code can be touched.
You know, I would note that for ordinance. The next two, or 10 and 11. I mean, they're asking for some, a salary that's 39% above. The typical starting salary and 47% above. That's a lot. That's a considerable amount above the. Above the, you know, the job description. It's a reclassification, it's about 4 or 5 steps above.
Well, it falls within the range of the grade.
It's still 39% and 47%. And it's twice.
You
that's twice the
described
rate.
steps above,
Yeah,
that was.
I mean, do we even have a job description? Or the duties in that would justify the promotion or the increase?
Can I just add that I'm happy that we're getting a waiver of the personnel code? We know law clerks have a specially carved out. Classification of their own that doesn't even appear in the personnel code, and we're hiring a law clerk in the middle of the range. And we never even see the waiver. And I've seen it pretty routine where there's a couple hires where I'm like. That wasn't at the base, and I was just to add that point, I'm glad to see process followed. That's new, right? Just putting that out there.
So you can add that to our historical
Please,
analysis too.
please.
I think too, and I'm locked out of my, I'm just going to do it out of my. Phone right now, but I think it was ordinance 13 of 2024, there's historical data on there as the attachment for those. Years, there's a year of a long range of salaries included as attachments, makes it looks on that. Okay.
Remember that, but maybe.
Double check after the meeting.
Sure.
Then also, unless you guys, any other comments on that item? Move on. 2026 planning fund budget waiver of human resources code and approval of starting rate above 6% maximum increase for position for director of plan. Same story.
So you said it's 47 for the full one. This one you said is 47.
Yes.
Hearing no questions. Ordinance 2026 county council solicitor retainer. Questions, concerns, thoughts? Tom, you good?
I have no problem. I will 47%.
I don't know this intention.
I don't see any objections to that, Ordinance, 2026 county council deputy solicitor retainer. You good?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Questions, concerns? Now into the fun stuff. Possible appointment of Jeffrey Church to the Erie County Land Bank, term to expire December 31st, 2030. Councilman Bale. Present. Where's Charlie? Did he?
His flight was delayed, so he's not able to join, he's in.
I'll add something here, that was the seat currently occupied, by Dave Mitchell. And I'm the liaison in the county land bank and have attended their meetings for 2 years now. I'm a little disappointed. Dave can be exceptionally long-winded and can move some meetings longer than I can. But he's a valuable member of that board, and I plan on mentioning something to Charlie about that. A little disappointed not to see him reappointed. Possible appointment of Kevin Smith to the Regional Airport Authority, term expired December 31st, 2025, with Showerman. That's gotta be wrong, right? It didn't expire last month, right?
That's correct. Yeah, the date on it.
Don't have the data.
Probably need to look that.
Okay.
The person, my appointment that was in there turned out at the
Right, it's a typo
December 31st, 2010.
on the memo, it says December 31st, 2030, so we'll have that corrected on the agenda.
Which seems really weird to be talking about 2030.
Moving on, possible reappointment of Ronald Bowl, did I say that right, to the Erie County Planning Commission, term expired 29, Showerman. You have a lot on here.
They all lined up, all the 3 years, 4 years, and
Yeah,
5 years all lined up.
Reappointment of James Cardman to the Erie County Land Bank, term expired December 31st, 2030. Sake of time. Ellen, if there's any comments for any of yours.
No, they've all done a great job so far, and I've no problem reappointing them.
And possible reappointment of Mr. Jeffers to the Erie County Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission that we had just appointed last month. Just reappointing back in. So that's the end of that agenda. I would like a motion to go into executive session. You guys can hang out? Okay. And probably you too, Chris. Yeah. Mark, Rob, you guys are good to go. Thank you. Right. Thank you. You see a whole bunch before. Yeah, it's just the executive clarity. It's just moving this. I got it.
I think it's up to mine.
Kenny, you're probably good, man.
Yeah, you guys have a good night.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Please do. I'm already happy.
What's that?
I'm already happy.
So. And motion to adjourn.
Karen has the